Hello world, and welcome back. Let's play a game. Time to test our coroutines intuition and knowledge. We have a suspend method executed in dispatcher's main, which as we know is confined to application main or UI thread. What will happen to our UI if we call the delay suspend method inside that suspend method? A, our UI will freeze. B, our UI will not freeze. Now pause the video if you need to, but don't think too much. The question is here to test our intuition and basic knowledge. There are two possibilities here. Either this question seems very trivial to you and you are able to answer it pretty much immediately, or it will make you think. If you were able to answer immediately and easily, and you answered B, that UI will not freeze, then congratulations, it's the right answer. You seem to understand the coroutines concepts very well. Now let's first demonstrate this with an example. Let's see what happens. What we have here is a very simple screen. Actually, just a circular progress indicator that serves the purpose of proving to us whether the UI is frozen or not. Underneath, we launch a new coroutine in the main dispatcher, and we have our 5,000 millisecond delays, 5 seconds, and at the end of that, we're just changing the color of the progress indicator. So if we run it, we're going to see whether the delay in the main thread causes the thread to freeze. So I'm running the app, and what we see is that the thread is not frozen at all. You can see our UI is as smooth as ever, and at the end of the 5 seconds, the progress indicator changes color. If you thought that maybe this would freeze the UI, then it's probably because you've been used to seeing a thread sleep doing the same thing. So if we do thread sleep inside our coroutine, what we'll see is that, yeah, this freezes the UI. A coroutine is a job within a thread. It's not the whole thread itself. You see, the reason the delay method does not block the thread is because it's literally pausing this suspend method. The method temporarily returns until we trigger it again. But unlike a normal method, which can return once and then it needs to be reinvoked to start again from scratch, a suspend method can return from execution at any point temporarily, in the meantime staying alive, keeping its state, and then it can be resumed exactly from where it left off. If we think about it, that's all very special here. The concept, the paradigm shift is suspension. And as you know, in this channel, we never leave things just in theory. We're going to demonstrate this with an example. So I did something behind the scenes here. I've created a suspend method, a job, and then here we can launch this job. I added something here. I added a button that's doing something. I'll explain in a moment. And the circular progress indicator is still there to give us some guidance. So back to this suspend method here, this job. If you can see, we are starting by changing the value of the color to blue. So it becomes blue. Then it suspends. This suspend is not a method of the coroutine framework. I created it and I simulated a way to suspend the coroutine indefinitely. In this case, it's totally manual. That's why don't bother too much into how this works here. The important thing is that this button that I created here is using a similar hacky way to resume this job that is paused. So let's recap what we have before we run it, because this is very, very important. This is a method. This is a method that starts, then by some reason, it pauses. But while it pauses, the normal flow of control in our system continues as usual. But this method is alive. We could be altering variables inside this method that again would be in memory. And at any point, we can continue from where we left off. So this method can return from this line 57, it can return, life goes on. And then by pressing a button, it can continue from here, but not from the start like a normal method would. When a normal method returns, it's over. Its memory gets released. Then the only way to continue is just to reinvoke it, and this will be all from scratch. But enough talking, let's run the app and see what we have here. All right, the application starts. Our progress indicator just became a bit smaller, but oh well. The color starts blue. But now, as you can see, this command here has not been executed yet. The black and the yellow, we don't see it. which means the suspension works. Now this method is paused. If we press continue, now it became black. So now the color changed, which means we are proceeding in the method one step at a time. And now I get the yellow is still to be seen. We need to press the button one more time to resume the method. And yes, if we do it, now it's yellow. So this is a very good example of how a coroutine is essentially different than anything else we've seen. Its ability to pause a method and continuing from where it left off is exactly what is different. The rest are usual concurrency stuff that we need to take care of. We need to care about deferring to the proper thread for a job. We need to care about cancellation. We need to care about many things and structuring these concurrent jobs that we have. But this is all a common denominator in any framework, really. And this is why the delay method did not freeze the thread, to go back to our initial question, because it paused the method, not the thread. The delay method is just a way to simulate something pausing and continuing after a while. So this is all I wanted to show you for today. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.